Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Pat's Chat. I'm Steve Colby, and it's great to have you with us today. We're brought to you by Ortho, Virginia. And today we'll talk some baseball as we're joined by junior starting pitcher Jared Lyons and sophomore outfielder, infielder, South Trimble. How's it going today, guys?
Doing good. Doing good.
It's great to have you with us today. And let's talk a little baseball. Season just ended for George Mason. And every player gets their start somewhere. Just talk about when you started playing baseball, how old you were, and when you knew that was the sport that you were going to basically put all your attention to.
Well, I'll go first. And Steve, thanks for having us on today. I really appreciate it. I started playing ball when I was like 4. I can't remember when, but I played t-ball all the way up through Little League and all that. I didn't really know it was a sport for me. My dad kind of put us in sports just to make friends, really, because that's what helped him when he was younger. So that was mostly the goal for him. I mean, he didn't even think I would make it past Little League. So, but I knew it was a sport because, I mean, I just love the way, like, you have to work your butt off to just get better at the game. It's not going to come easy. And you just gotta work your tail off to get good at the game. So yeah, that's why. I mean, and there's a goal. There's always a goal to reach for. So that's why I kept at it. So
yeah, and for me, I'm kind of similar to Jared. I started baseball around when I was 4 or 5. My parents put me in it. Growing up, my dad played college basketball, so I was almost more into basketball. But then when I started playing baseball, I realized I was probably better at that. And around high school, I realized that I thought I had a future playing baseball. So, yeah.
Now, did playing other sports help you with what it took to make it? Not every player can make it to the Division I level. So how, playing other sports, be it, basketball, football, whatever, help you get to this point in your career?
Yeah, I mean, playing basketball, like Sal said, I played basketball. I didn't play high school, but I played football. I played tennis. I mean, that's another overhead sport. I mean, I even got into lacrosse a little bit. I dabbled in lacrosse, and I swam. So, I mean, yeah, I think it just makes you a well-rounded athlete. And I mean, it prepares you to, like, I don't know, I guess you're always in good shape and you're always able to, and it's a good competitive environment in every sport you really get into. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely helped, though. Definitely helped me.
For me, basketball really helped with my athletic abilities in baseball. And so, yeah, that really helps throughout high school.
Well, I go back to, Jared, you mentioned swimming, and it's funny because a lot of athletes mention that they swam on the side. And I go back to one of those Rocky movies from the 1980s where they're training him and he gets in the pool and they say, he's got to learn to use muscles he didn't know he had. And, that's where I guess swimming comes in. Wanted to ask you guys about your favorite players and teams. Obviously, everyone has, players they look up to as they're growing with their particular sport. Who was it for you?
So I'm a Nats fan. I've always been. I grew up in this area. I haven't gone very far for college. So, but yeah, I mean, I've always been a Nats fan. And growing up, I mean, I was an infielder too, so I really liked watching Jeter play. I mean, I think everyone did. Pretty mainstream, but now that I got older and now that I'm a pitcher, really, I mean, I'd say my favorite pitcher on the Nats would be Strasburg or Scherzer. They're the 2 horses on that team. But if I'm just looking overall, I mean, who I've watched a lot of recently is Jack Flaherty. And he's done a really good job these past few years. And I mean, he's going to be in the Cy Young contention for the next few years to come. So and he's a really good guy to watch. So.
Yeah, and for me, I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan. Just growing up in Virginia Beach, there's not really a team near besides the Nationals and the Orioles, but I watch them. They haven't been doing that well recently, but they're starting, I think, to turn it around. But in terms of favorite players, I don't have a current favorite player. I like older players. So I'd say for me, Ken Griffey Jr., just beautiful swing. Love watching him, all highlights of him play still. And then Bo Jackson, because he played multiple sports and he did really well in both. So, yeah.
So I know there's differences here between a pitcher and an outfielder and infielder. In South, you moved around a lot during the latter part of this season. But, describe your playing style. Obviously it takes a lot to be a starter. And, not only describe your style of play, but what it takes to get yourself ready for that next start and that next game.
Well, so as a pitcher, I mean, you have to have an identity, I think, out there. You kind of have to know like who you are as a person and how you're going to attack hitters and stuff. And I mean, as a freshman, I was a closer type guy, so I had to have like a really, I mean, kind of psycho attitude about going into the game. It's being crazy. And I think as I became a starter, I think I had to be more relaxed going into games, because when I felt like I was tense, super tense, I mean, I'd have a great 1-2 innings and then I would fall apart later. So it was about kind of like lengthening my energy and my like attitude going in 6-7 innings and becoming a starter. So yeah, just being relaxed, you know. I mean, obviously if you get emotions, don't be afraid to show them, but don't get too high, don't get too low. And I think I did a pretty good job of that this year. So.
And for me, kind of like my attitude the whole year was just, what can I do to help my team in any way possible? So with being a utility player, going from outfield to infield and vice versa for many games back to back, just switching it up. In practice, it was a lot of every 2 minutes rotating positions, getting work at every infield position, every outfield position. And then just this year being a leadoff, my goal was for me, it was just get on base, try and score runs by getting on base, laying the guys later in the lineup to get me in. And that was my goal for the year. So, yeah.
Well, I've got one individually for each of you now before we go back to our piggyback questions. For you, Jared, you know, during the season, you held opponents to a batting average of under 200. This particular year, 76 strikeouts, 72 and a third inning, 6 wins. You mentioned, you know, sort of conditioning yourself to go longer into games. You went 6 innings or more in 8 of your 12 starts and won 5 of your last 7 games. That puts you on the A10 All-Conference first team. And also you made the All-Academic team for the A10. First player for George Mason to earn both in one season since this program joined the A10 back in 2014. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's definitely special. I mean, I know I had a good year. I mean, I didn't know where I fell in terms of all conference, but it's definitely really awesome. And knowing, you know, all the work I put in. I mean, it started freshman year. I mean, all the work I put in since then, that kind of led up to this moment. And hopefully, I mean, my future is in line with that kind of stuff. So just gonna keep my foot on the gas. And and then the academic part. I mean, that's probably the most important one out of, I mean, everything, because I mean, the game's going to end sometime soon for me, for everyone. And, you know, the education part kind of takes you a lot longer away. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely really special to be the first Mason baseball player since they joined the A10. They get both of them in the same season. It's definitely special. And I did work hard for it. So, yeah, it definitely didn't come easy.
Well, congratulations on that. And also congratulations to you, South. You had a big year. Among the team leaders in batting average, up there in RBIs, runs scored as a leadoff batter. You know, your average significantly higher when leading off an inning than your batting average, over 300 in both categories. So an outstanding year for you, moving back and forth, like you said. So, you know, you had to contend with that new outfield wall there on occasion, being in the outfield, and then you were moved third base, second base. Just talk about, you know, that transition. I know you touched on it just a bit. And what's one of those positions that you prefer to go out there on a daily basis?
So it's kind of funny just moving around. It takes kind of a lot of mental. It's challenging to do all positions, going in and out, different arm slots, throwing from different positions. What you're talking about, being in the outfield with the new wall. I think first weekend I ran into the wall. Unfortunately dropped it, but it's all good. But moving back to the infield, it was just I played a lot of positions growing up, and actually the previous summer I only played outfield, so it helped, and I felt good everywhere I play. It's just about having confidence, and yeah, that's what I felt. I felt well in every position.
Well, let's get back into that rotation now. How about your walk-up music and walk-out music for you, Jared? You know, what's your song? And, you know, did you think a lot about it? How did you come to pick what your walkout and walk-up music is?
I mean, for me, I mean, there wasn't really, I wasn't too pressed on having a good walk-up song. I mean, I just wanted, you know, something that, you know, sounded good and, you know, kind of represented who I am and, you know, what I like. It's a country song. I mean, I had one my freshman year. The seniors picked one for me. Didn't really have a choice then. Last year, I picked a Motley Crue song. So yeah, I mean, I don't think about it too hard. But yeah, it's definitely a good song, and yeah, just kind of go out there and relax. They help me relax. So yeah, it's a feel good song for me. So.
And for me, just as a hitter, I always try and stay pretty focused and locked in up until my at bat. But when I'm on deck and then I hear the song start when I chose, that really gets my mind set, and really makes me think about my approach when I hit. And it's a nice kind of like slow. It's a rap song. But it's nice and slow, and it's like kind of like a vibe to me. And it gets me locked on, keeps me calm, keeps me cool, keeps me collected, and that's just how I lock in.
So it's the morning of a game, and baseball is such a long season. This year was a little bit different, obviously, because of COVID. Those 3-game weekend series became 4-game weekend series with a doubleheader in there as well. Every Saturday, this team was scheduled to play 11 doubleheaders this past season. Now with no midweek games in there, but that sort of take us through the morning of a game before infield, outfield, before BP. How do you both get yourself ready? The 2 different positions, obviously there's going to be more involved with both in a different way.
I mean, as a starter, I'm throwing one out of those 4 games, so I got a little bit of an easier route than South does. But yeah, I mean, if whatever day I threw, I would relax, hang out, talk to the guys, shag BP for a little bit, and then once it gets to that 1 hour mark before first pitch, that's when I start to kind of like narrow my focus on getting ready, stretching, getting my body temp up, getting ready to throw the first pitch of the game, and hopefully put our team in the best position to win. So yeah, I mean that's what I went through every start. Yeah.
And for me, coming to like a 4-game series, I try and show up to the field, try and be one of the first people there, because we have to set up before everything. So I get there, set up, and then I like staying down at the field and being at the field the whole time before a game. I try and stay more quiet. I try and just keep to myself. I mean, I'll mess around with the guys a little bit, but I really try and stay locked in. And then like on Saturday and Sunday games, but your body's kind of hanging a little bit. You start feeling it more and more. And that's when I spend a lot of time stretching pregame up until the game starts. I do a lot of running and stuff like that earlier than most people do. So that's just how I stay locked in. Yeah, basically.
Now, before we get to some rapid fire questions, just talk about a moment or two, if you had to pick 1 or 2 about your time here at Mason, and a moment, maybe not just from this year, but from Jared, your 3 years, South, from your season. What moment would you pick that you're going to remember most as of now, with still more baseball to come?
I'm gonna choose 2 actually, because yeah, now you said, I mean, I can go back to my freshman, sophomore, whatever year. When I was a freshman, actually the first weekend out, I had a pretty good start. A week before the season started, Skip told me I'm gonna be playing left field, and so I played left field, had an okay first game, and then that weekend I think I had 3 or 4 RBIs, and then I closed out the last game. So yeah, definitely a good start to my career here. And then more recently, this year against St. Louis, I threw a 7-inning complete game, 1-hitter. So that was definitely really cool. It's just a good stat performance for me, but I think I had everything that day too. So it just all the work that I put in kind of showed that performance. So.
And then for myself, I don't have as much experience here, but my favorite moment was definitely this year when we were at Dayton. I hit my first career home run, and up until that point, I remember the at bats before Dayton, I was batting well, but then I had a couple off games where I realized I just needed to lock it in, and I knew if I just stayed calm and kept my approach, something good would happen. And the guy left me a high fastball, and I hit it over the right center field fence, and it was just a great experience. I got the ball after, and that's probably definitely my best experience from this year playing for George Mason.
Ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Well, here we go. The top song that you're going to listen to before a game, and your favorite artist.
Oh boy. Okay, so J. Cole's album just came out. and I've been listening to that a lot. But My Life, it's not very like pump up, but it's a good song. So that's what I'm gonna be listening to.
And for me, I'm going to be listening to Dark Knight Dummo by Trippie Redd featuring Travis Scott. And my favorite artist right now, like Jared says, is also J. Cole, actually.
All right, you're in the dugout. You're going to bubblegum or sunflower seeds?
So I like sunflower seeds more, but we only had the original, so I had to go with bubblegum, man. I had to this year, but
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with bubblegum as well. Actually, one game this year, I accidentally blew a bubble mid-pitch, and it got stuck in my face. So
what? Oh,
I hope that pitch was low and away. What moment have you seen on the field in your time here at Mason where when the game was over, you said, I can't believe that just happened?
For me, it was Towson when we lost the game going in. I was pitching that game, going into the ninth inning with one hit, and I got an out, and then we ended up losing on a walk off that game. And I was like, how the heck did that just happen? But yeah, that not a good how the heck happened, but yeah, definitely. Well, that was the moment for me.
it wasn't, and for me, it wasn't. It was actually the same game, and it wasn't like a crazy moment, but they moved me in as a fifth infielder that game, and I played right up the middle, right in it was infield in, and I played right in front of second base. I've never done that before, and that was kind of like weird to me. I've never seen a shift like that.
Trying to cut down that runner from third, right? So which one of your teammates do you have to really keep your eyes on when it comes to practical jokes or pranks?
Oh boy. Probably Fitzy, Jack Fitzgerald. Yeah, he's definitely the jokester, the class clown or team clown, if you will. Yeah, he's definitely a guy you gotta keep your eye on.
I would say the same person. Sometimes he you don't know what he's thinking or stuff, and he can strike out of the corner. You never know.
How about your free time? Obviously, you have a little bit more now, but during the season, you don't have a lot of free time. But what are you going to do with that valuable free time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, school's done. Season's done. I got just a lot of individual time for myself. I mean, I'm just gonna train. Really take a focus on my recovery. After a long season, and yeah, just focus on the little things now. We're not really playing a season, so just focusing on my body, my health, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, obviously, and continue to work on academics, getting ready for the next semester. But yeah, just staying focused, locked in.
For me, in the off time, I'm just gonna focus on what either I struggled with, did well with in the spring, hone my skills. But just for fun, I'm probably gonna relax at the beach. I live in Virginia Beach, and I'm a pretty good bowler, so I'm gonna go bowling a little bit.
What's your high score?
247.
It's not bad.
So
I've been reading some reports that say now chocolate-covered cicadas are making their rounds here in the Northern Virginia area. What's one food that you see people eat all the time that you're never going to try?
I mean, this is pretty. I mean, I'm probably going to groan and moan about this for me, but I can't stand pickles. So yeah, definitely never going to touch one of those things. And yeah, pickle juice. I don't know how people drink that. I mean, I understand it helps with cramps, but I'd rather just have a banana. So yeah.
For me, I like to eat a lot of things. So probably cauliflower. I will never touch cauliflower. I've never had it. I don't plan on eating it. I just don't think it would taste that good.
All right, guys.
Oh
so here comes your outside pitch. Question of the day. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So which one of your teammates didn't think I was behind the dish at all, did you? Which one of your teammates is that one guy who, when you're in the dugout, when he sits next to you, has the best stories and you're not going to get away?
Probably Sal's roommate Craig. Me and him always have interesting conversations in the dugout, and we get along pretty good. But yeah, definitely Craig for me. Yeah.
For me, there's a couple guys, but I have to say, actually, Jared's roommate Brett Brett Stallings.
Oh, okay.
He's new this year, and I had a great time talking to him. He has some great stories as well. So yeah.
Well, Jared and Sal, it's been great getting a chance to talk some baseball with you. You know, we're proud of what you were able to accomplish this season. Looking forward to next year as well. And this has been Pat's Chat, brought to you by Ortho, Virginia, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.